Hey, in this video I want to teach you about the most important HTML tags and attributes, and together we will build this site. So I hope you enjoy the video, stay tuned, and have fun. Welcome back. So it's time to create the website. First of all, you need a text editor. I recommend Visual Studio Code, but you can also use any other text editor like Sublime or Brackets. But if you want to follow the tutorial exactly, then I highly recommend VS Code. You can just go to the Visual Studio Code website, click Download for Windows, and install Visual Studio Code. I will also put all the tools I use in the video description so that you can find them easily and install them very quickly. After installing Visual Studio Code or using any other text editor, we have to create a folder and an HTML file. So click on Open Folder, and here I'm in the desktop and I have already created a folder. This is just an example folder, so I will click on that folder, and after that we will create the file. So here you can see my example folder. Now I click on New File and I will call this file index.html. Then I will hit Enter and we have now created an HTML file. What's really important about that HTML file that every time you want to create such a document, you have to give the ending .html, otherwise it won't work. I also want to share with you a very useful extension when working with HTML, JavaScript, CSS, or whatever. You can go under extensions when you use a VS Code. When you use Sublime or Brackets or any other text editor, I'm pretty sure there is a similar plugin or extension. Just search for your text editor, and after that, something like Live Server, and you will definitely find something like that. So here I'm searching for the extension Live Server. Now you can see here that we see Live Server. I have already installed Live Server, but here you can see an install button because I haven't installed Live Share. So go to Live Server and click that install button, and then it will install that extension. So after installing Live Server, go and close the extension and go back to your HTML document. Here we now have to create our index.html document. So every time you create an HTML document, start by typing document HTML. After that, we have to define an HTML tag. So type HTML and then hit the tab key. So this will quickly create an HTML starting tag and an HTML end tag. So every time you want to create an element, just hit the tab key and it will automatically create that starting and end tag. It's very useful and a very quick way to create HTML elements. After that HTML tag, we need a head tag. So type head, hit the tab key, and press enter. In that head tag, we put the basic information for our website, like a title, and here we also put stuff like metadata or keywords for the search engine optimization. But it's nothing the user can see. So for example, we can write a title. Just again type title and then hit the tab key on your keyboard. Our first element we want to create inside that body tag is an h1 tag. So type h1 and we will call this my favorite dish. Then hit Ctrl S to save the document, and now we want to use our extension that we have installed earlier. So make a right click on Visual Studio Code, click on Open with Live Server. and it will automatically load the H1 tag, but not just the H1 tag, it will load our whole site. If we want to see the title we have defined in the head tag, we can see here my site. So everything you put inside the title, that's something that will be displayed here. I will just decrease the size again so you can see Visual Studio Code a little bit better. I also want to increase the size. That's something I forgot at the beginning. So now you should be able to see it much better, maybe a little bit more. Okay. The H1 element we have defined, that's our most important heading. So every time you create an HTML document, when you use an H1 heading, just use it once, because it's the most important heading on our website. There are different sizes or different headings. They go from H1 to H6. As I already have said, H1 is the most important one. Really, just use it once. The H2, which is a little bit less important, you can use that maybe between 2 or 3 times, and the H3 tag can be used multiple times. So H1 is the most important, H2 is less important, H3 is less important than H1, and so on. That's especially important again for search engine optimization. We will create an H2 element, and inside this H2 element we want to write pizza. Maybe now you remember that we had after that H2 element an emoji. To create that emoji, you have to press the Windows key on your keyboard and full stop. Now you can see all the emojis. I have chosen a pizza emoji, so go to that pizza icon, and here you can see the pizza emoji. Click on it, and you can close that window now. Again, we want to save the document, so hit Ctrl S to save the document. And because we have installed Live Server, you can see our pizza heading without refreshing the page. It was just updated automatically. After that H2 element, we want to create an image. So we need image, hit tab on your keyboard. Here you can see that we have 2 attributes. The first attribute is the source attribute, where the location from that image is. The location can be a file on our computer, but we will use an image from a website. So I've already prepared one. Go to Pixabay, link is in the description, and here you can choose the image and then just hit Ctrl C to copy the image. So the CDN, go back to Visual Studio Code and press Ctrl V to paste the website link. Our second attribute is an alt attribute. This is something like alternative text. It's important for screen readers and to describe our image. So here we will describe the image, what you can see on the image. Inside our alt attribute, we will call this one pizza margarita. Hit Ctrl S to save the document and go back to our site. Wow, this is a pretty large image, so we have to decrease the size of the image a bit. It's something you can do with CSS, but we will just focus on pure HTML here. So inside this image element, we we'll create another attribute. This is the width attribute, and we will give it 500 pixel. So this is the width of that element, and now we can also define a height, something like 300 pixel, save the document, and now we have adjusted the width and the height of that image. Now it's time to create a paragraph tag. So every time you have text, but that's not a heading, just place it inside the p tag, and we will call this one, Jesus, I can't spell today. You will need for the dove. Save the document, and here you can see our text. So this is very useful when you have a lot of text, or yeah, just everything that has something to do with text in general. Now we also want to create a list. So we want to create an unordered list, and inside that unordered list we have li elements. So the first li element is a wheat flour. Then I will save the document, and you can see that we have created a list. So for that list you need ul for the creation of an unordered list. An unordered list is something that has a bullet point in front of it. So here you can see a bullet point. We will also use later an ordered list. An ordered list has numbers in front of it instead of bullet points. And every time you want to have multiple instances of these li elements, you repeat dli instead of ul. So you can also nest ul and ol or li elements, but here we will just have one ul tag, so a starting and the end tag, and inside that ul element we will have our list items. So the next one will be olive oil. Then we will have another list item with yeast and just a few dots. Save the document again, and now we have here our unordered list. Now it's time to create the ordered list. For the ordered list, after our ul tag, type ol, and here we will preheat the oven. Then we of course have to prepare the dough, and it also has to rest. Again, ... save the document, and now you can see our ordered list. Something that I have missed is our p tag, because now we have two lists, but we don't know why we have an ordered list here. So just create another p tag and let's call it a preparation. Save the document again, and now we have our ordered list and our unordered list. Here you can see the numbers, so it starts with the first element, the second, and so on. Our last element for today is an anchor tag. So hit A on your keyboard and it will create that href. The href is an attribute that can link to other websites, but you can also link to your own website. This is very useful when you have a navigation. In this case, we want to link to another recipe. So this is the recipe we want to link to. Again, the link to that recipe is in the description. Just hit Ctrl C to copy the link, Ctrl V back in Visual Studio Code, and Ctrl S to save the document. Go back to the site and now we cannot see the changes. Maybe again I have to... we have to define the text inside that H. Yeah, inside that H element. So between the starting tag and the end tag, we will call this C full recipe. And Ctrl S. Now we can see our anchor tag here. So if we click the link, it will automatically redirect us to the website. But as you can see, the website will open in a different tab. So we have left our website. If we want to avoid that behavior after our Href attribute, we need a target attribute. And here we have to make an underscore and then blank. So now if we click on that link, it will open in a new tab without leaving our website. Okay, and I guess, yeah, that's the basic HTML elements you need. We can also maybe make a comment here. And we will call this comment, this is a part of our website. Ctrl S. And as you can see, the comment is something that you cannot see on our website. Comments are very useful when you have to revisit your website later, or when you just want to explain what you did. It's also extremely important when you have large files to make it clear what you have done, and also to be very descriptive about what you are doing. Yeah, and I would say that's everything you need for a basic HTML website. These are just the most important and most useful HTML tags and attributes. There are a lot of more attributes and tags, but I would say when you know these ones, you are pretty good and have a pretty solid foundation for creating HTML websites. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe we will see us in the next video with part 2 of creating HTML websites, or maybe with CSS. Thanks for watching the video and see you soon. Bye.